Всем привет! Сегодня проходим в игру The Collins. Называется, поехали.
Hey, there's something
Но
not
вот
right
из
about this
этого кое-что
floorboard.
не так.
It's different from the rest.
Самих. Кто мы делаем? Просто действуем, не знаю. Короче, мы с вами прибыли на остров, к например, поиску матери. Она пропала. Вот что произошло в начале. И мы избежали плена. Такие допросы.
And judging from what I can see, it's the same one as hers. For crying out loud, what's happened to you, Mother?
Что случилось?
Let's look inside the bag.
Что в
Little
сумке?
food, a few toiletries, a small key, and some kind of black powder. The bottom of the bag is covered in black powder. An iron key completely rusted.
Ключ.
You never know. It might be
Кто
useful.
знает, вдруг пригодится.
Mother wasn't counting
С
on it.
матушкой он не нужен.
Some fruit, a piece of
Кусок
bacon,
бекона и
and
хлеб.
some bread. The fruit's still firm. The bread's a bit stale.
Хлеб немного зачерствел.
From the smell, this food's been here
Дня два.
for 2 days, and if it's rationed, there's
Если
enough
этот
left to
потек,
last 2 more days.
пару дней. Паюк.
Shit, those are definitely my mother's things.
Слишком вещи.
I recognize her hairpins.
Угу.
This bag smells of her perfume. A piece of soap, some oils, and her powder puff. What does all this mean? Right. Just in case, I'll take it all. I'll give it back to Mother when I see her. Crying out loud. Why did you hide supplies in the middle of nowhere, Mother? I don't know what's going on here, but
Происходит
you
новое.
obviously feel like you're in danger.
Жизнь в опасности.
Locked. I'll never get it
Руками
open
их не
barehanded.
открыть. Так, у нас нет, да?
Clearly, I'm not much for manual labor. Let's see if I can get it
Вот
open
есть
another
другой
way.
способ. Есть, но на место сломать. Ловкости нет.
There we are.
До пустяков. То ключом открывается. Вполне.
Honey. I couldn't have
Мед.
hoped for better.
Красная находка. Предметы. Так. Ага. Так, есть.
This looks like a pistol case.
Кажется, это ящик для
But it's
пистолета.
empty.
Но он пуст.
I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but if it does, at least now you're armed. Just like in my vision.
Нужно.
And none of it's telling me anything useful.
Что здесь происходит?
This wharf is used as storage for a lot of barrels.
Лучка.
Uh-huh. What have we here?
Что у нас тут?
It's cannon powder.
Пушечный порох. Ну,
It's unusable now. I don't know what the person who left this barrel like this had in mind, but it's a waste.
зря.
So, let's go through this. My
Можно
mother's been
среди
hiding
ночи
pieces of
идет на
bread
причалы.
between rotten boards of a wharf. in the middle of the night.
Пускай.
That's not normal. And if that weren't
Это
enough,
похоже
just
на
now
вооружена.
she's armed. Meanwhile, she also takes the time to send out letters, reassuring
Письма
whoever might be
рассказывать
interested
кому-то.
that she's having a fabulous time here. So
Страницы.
odd. So very odd.
Очень странно.
And that's
Я
not even
еще не
all I've
все.
noticed. But maybe I ought to move on to the manor now. They'll be waiting for me.
Мне заждались.
At least I hope so.
Там осколки.
A fragment of amber.
Дальше. Идемте дальше.
Great, honey.
О, чем это? Ну, вроде все осмотрели. Не знаю, что внутри. Можно двигаться дальше. Замок.
Latin inscription.
Написано на латинском.
Annesis, mi fili quantilia produncia mundus ergatur.
Нет пока. Нет, без перевода. Жалко. Не ходи. Каким знанием? Все совместно.
How did Mortimer manage to build this
Как
manor
Мортимеру
on
удалось
a rocky outcrop?
в скале? Ого, впечатляет.
Ah, my son. I was
Да,
looking
сын
for...
мой, я сказал.
What can I do for you, Your
Чем могу
Eminence?
помочь, ваше высочество?
I wanted to ask you. You are
Точно,
the son
вы
of
сын
Sara
Сары,
Dedice,
это-
aren't you?
Это,
You see, your mother and I were
понимаете, мы
supposed
с
to
вашей
meet
матерью
here on
договорились
this very
встретиться на
spot.
этом
I was
месте.
supposed to hand her a very important envelope,
Наверное, ну,
but I
Понимаете.
haven't seen her.
If only Mother had told me why she was coming
идея.
here. Anyway, I ought to take the envelope. It
Точно
might
надо
have something to
заключить
do with her
контракт в связи
disappearance.
с...
Listen, if it will help, you can always give it to me.
Мгм.
Thank you, my son. I'll bear that in
Ну,
mind.
свидания.
I'd rather deal with her directly. Don't take it
Вы
personally.
принимаете это на
Would
сейчас
you happen to know if your mother has arrived yet?
лучше, чем...
Certainly, Your Eminence. Mother got here some time ago.
Несколько
I was
дней
hoping to
назад.
find her when I arrived, but given the hour, she
Приедете,
must be
так
asleep by
как
now.
сейчас поздняя, она может наверняка...
Right. I shall see her
Это
tomorrow.
правда.
By the way, Your Eminence, I
Кстати,
wasn't
ваше
aware
высочество,
you
я
knew
не
my
знал, что вы знакомы с моей матерью.
If you only knew, my
Познакомься,
son,
моя.
I hold your mother in the highest
Приглашайте.
regard. She has rendered great service
Сказала,
to the church,
большинство поддержит.
and her help is invaluable.
Вообще,
I hope that you will follow
Надеюсь,
in
вы
her
поймете.
footsteps.
If only she had told me where she was
дай
headed.
бы еще куда она направилась.
Nonetheless, our
Всё же мы
exchanges have
всегда-
always been discreet,
Хотел бы я
and
нарушить
I
эту
should like
традицию.
them to remain as such. If your mother wishes to
Если
speak
однажды
to
ваша
you
мать
about us one day, I will not
Наше дело,
mind
я
if she
не буду
does.
возражать.
That is very commendable. But since we work together on a daily basis,
Вообще мы работаем.
it's surely just an oversight.
Most certainly.
Просто времени, скорее всего.
You said you work together.
Сказать, что я работаю с
What
мамой.
do you do
Чем вы
exactly?
занимаетесь?
My mother and I belong to the same secret organization, the Golden Order, which
Вступил
I
в
joined
него
a few years
4
ago.
раза.
Mother trained me, and I assist
Это
in her
обучало меня, а я
research.
помогаю
In other
ей в
words,
искании.
you can trust me.
Кажется,
My child,
Дитя
you
мое,
are
вы
telling
рассказываете
a
первым третьим о
perfect
том, что вы
stranger that you and your mother work for a secret society. It would seem that discretion is not one of
Самое
your
сильное чито.
specialities, my son. You will understand that it does not
Доверие вам
encourage
пока
me to put
служить
my
не удалось.
trust in you.
Shit.
Вот черт.
All the same,
It bothers
Меня
me to
тоже
see you in a
будет.
quandary, Your Eminence. Is there any other solution?
Какое дело?
If it's of any
Значит,
help, you
знаете,
can
вы
always
всегда
leave
можете
your envelope
передать
with me,
конверт
and I'll
мне,
give it
а
to her
я
as soon
отдам
as I
его
see it.
матери сразу. Ох,
I
даже не знаю.
hesitate. Up till now, we have
После
always
того,
dealt
говорить
with
с ней
her
с
in
глазу на
person,
глаз, и никаких
and that
трудностей
has
не
always
возникало.
been successful. Do you think I
Думаете,
should
мне
give it to
стоит
you?
довериться его?
Only you know that, Your
Шутим.
Eminence. If you're asking me if you can trust me, or if I
Если
can
не
keep a
доверяете ей,
secret, I would
хотите,
answer yes.
что нет, то
Absolutely.
ответ да.
I understand.
In truth, it all depends on the nature of the contents of your letter.
It is a
Там
list of
список
names.
This list must be of extreme importance.
If only you knew. It's a list of people that your mother
Далее,
must
это имена
help.
людей, которых можешь иметь.
Listen to me, my child.
Слушайте,
If I give you the
если
letter,
я
can
отдам
you
вам письмо,
promise me before God that no
что его не
one
прочтет
other than
никто,
your
кроме
mother
вашей
will
матери?
read it?
Ну,
I
конечно.
swear by the Almighty God to honor the promise that no one but my mother shall cast her gaze upon your letter.
Good.
Хорошо.
Let's stop it. I'm going to tell you a secret.
Слушайте, я поделюсь.
Your mother and I are organizing the escape of a large number of French priests who face a massacre organized by the accursed Republican tribunals. The church is literally being bled like a beast. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth have gone to the guillotine. She has made the services of your order available to us by organizing the priests' safe passage across the borders. Even if she does not share all our convictions, she always provided assistance. Young man, you can be proud to be her son. Be it only for her sake. Always respect your name.
Хотя бы из уважения к себе.
Here, the letter I spoke
Вот.
of. It includes a list of about 15 names ready for departure. Be quick. Remember to tell Sarah when you see her
Царь, что его
that time is short.
Well played. I'll decide later when I'm alone whether to look at what it contains.
Скрытые элементы, многоликие предметы повлияют на развитие сюжета, поэтому внимательно смотрите по сторонам. Что идем? Сидим.
I thought my chimney was big, but
Что
this
у меня
one is
дом,
beyond
камин
belief.
огромный.
It's the least one can say. I've been
Если
longing
я
for a
уже там
bonfire for
мечтал погреться
ages.
в огне.
Since I set foot on the island, I
Set foot
haven't
on the-
ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just
Мы
arrived?
тоже
Oh,
приехали.
late morning, I'd say.
Louis,
Поздним утром.
come join
Ой,
us.
князь, как?
Monsieur, may I introduce you to
Если
Monsignor
позволите
His
представить вам.
Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. He joins us straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me your
Ну,
eminence.
зовите меня.
It's simple.
George Washington, President of the United States of America.
Что-то.
Delighted at last to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis Moras de Richer. It is an honor to meet you.
Хорошо.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please.
Человек, не
Let us
выйти.
forget our fancy titles.
Спасибо.
Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I
Просто
didn't.
признать, что не
It's the
думал,
first time that I've ever met so many
столько
illustrious
людей
personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer organizes one of his receptions, there are over a dozen people here.
They can't all be here yet, and you'll see, most of the
Вот
time there's
видите,
only the
чаще
upper
всего здесь
crust.
собирается самое
And I
общество.
noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you forgive my indiscretion?
At the risk of disappointing you, we weren't conspiring in our corner, sir. His Eminence was simply telling me that he knew my mother and how much he held her in high esteem.
It so happens that Monsieur de Riche's mother is to join us.
Oh, pity.
А как жаль,
No
тут
scrumptious
скандальный
gossip or
случай.
juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or
Yes,
even
tiny
money
things.
matters, but you'll see, it will come.
Ничего, скорее
Despite all
появится.
the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people
Да,
scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, my friends, Do any of you
Итак,
know the
друзья,
reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Horn, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organises a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests,
During which time we remake the
В
world.
это время мы
accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing. I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand rightly, Monsieur de Richet, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
Like you, Mr. President, I'm here as a result of Lord Mortimer's invitation.
Two members of the same family here. That is rare.
You know what they say. You can pick your nose, but you can't pick your
Знаете,
face.
Seriously, though,
слушайте,
I know your mother well.
хорошо знаю,
Stay behind with me afterwards,
что
and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Good Lord. Washington is wearing the emblem of the Grand Master of the Golden Order.
если это не
It's the highest distinction of the order in the United States. It puts him on par with my mother. He must really know his stuff when it comes to the occult.
если всё.
Good evening, my friends.
Добрый вечер.
Shit.
Что
That's
за
the man
это же
from my
мужчина,
vision.
если не
An
видно.
urgent case has delayed
No,
our
no,
host,
no, no,
Lord
слышно,
Mortimer.
да.
He can't be present this
Не
evening,
может
and he
присутствовать.
sends his deepest apology.
He's asked me here and he hasn't even turned up. Great start. Do you know that man?
Sir Gregory Holm, an English aristocrat, very influential. He's also close to Lord Mortimer,
Что он ведет
so
себя.
don't be surprised if he acts like he's at home.
And now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relaxing.
Oh, you shall be quiet.
Don't
Стараемся.
take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I have
Неправильно,
already
сэр.
eaten.
Как говорю, я
Thus, I shall be happy to
с ним
remain by the
остался был камина.
If you don't mind,
So
Gregory,
then
I
you-
should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this home. I saw him in my vision.
My vision is more important. Let's follow home. I'll follow you, sir.
Красавец.
Mr. Washington, I hope to
Yes,
speak
sir.
with you at greater length
Говорим
on
с
another
вами, что ж.
occasion. Emily, please excuse me, but I would like to
Я
speak to
хотел
Sir
бы
Holm.
побеседовать с Вегой.
I shall see you
До
later.
встречи.
My friend, I hope our dear Giovanni is...
Есть Giovanni Торрес.
The troubles in France have fatigued him,
Вести из
but he will
Франции, но он
recover, so
постепенно
do not
пройдет.
fear. He apologizes for remaining in Rome.
Что
The work
со
was too
временем.
much for
Счастье
him.
он был не
And right he was too.
мудрый поступок.
Mildness of the
На связи.
Mediterranean, eh?
Хорошо.
Come, sit down and have something to eat, my friend. You look rather pale.
Ходите.
Excuse me, sir. I have been
Сидите, сэр.
neglecting my duty. I haven't introduced
Учтивости. Я
myself.
совсем
Sir
забыл
Gregory
представить.
Holm,
Сэр Грегори
old
Холм.
friend of Lord Mortimer.
A
Заметно.
real pleasure, sir.
You who must be well used to the court of
Ну,
France.
ваше было
How do you find this peaceful little haven?
Charming if
Prolog.
I hadn't come here for disturbing reasons.
Yes, I heard the news. What a story.
Indeed. I wanted to ask you. Would you have any information about the disappearance of my mother?
Very little, I'm afraid, my young friend. Your
Чего
mother
вы
came
тут?
at the
Ваша мать
invitation of
пригласила
Lord
в
Mortimer.
дверь.
Then one fine day, we couldn't find her anywhere.
That's it?
As I
Всё.
said, I don't know very
Слушай,
much.
я-
Lord Mortimer had the entire area searched immediately. We found no clue as to her disappearance. But I am convinced that as soon as Lord Mortimer becomes available, he will explain the situation.
Thank you for your answers, Sir Holm. But I beg your pardon. I get the impression I know you. Have we met?
Except in my dreams, of course.
Not that I remember
Я
you.
припоминаю, девушка.
Perhaps you're mistaking me for another member of the Chamber of Lords. And what with the wig
Учитывая
and the
парик
powder,
и
it wouldn't be
выбор,
the
я
first
был
time.
No, you were definitely the one I saw threatening my mother.
I thought... Never mind. It'll come back to me. Would you allow me one last question, sir?
Давайте последний вопрос.
I don't want to take up all your time.
Please, go ahead. What do you want to know?
Do you know the reason for my mother's presence here?
I haven't the slightest
Не,
idea.
не знаю, слишком.
She was invited by Lord Mortimer.
But you don't know why.
Я не знаю, зачем.
Not really. I was given to
Верно?
understand that your mother was
Легко не
looking
понять,
for
что
something.
ваша мать
And
здесь
do you
ищет.
know how long my mother and Lord Mortimer have known each other?
Several years, I believe. They seemed to know each other for quite a while.
Лет, полагаю.
But it was the first time that Lord Mortimer had invited her to join us here.
Good. And finally,
Скажите,
would it be possible for me to speak with Lord Mortimer this evening?
I'm terribly sorry. No, he really is quite
ваша не
unavailable.
спит.
But please rest assured that
Верно.
everyone is doing their best to find your mother.
Надо найти.
All the same, it's not the Chateau de Versailles. It can't be that difficult to find her.
Worry not, my son.
Не
I am
переживайте.
persuaded that we shall find the famous Sarah de Riche. No doubt with new adventures to share, huh?
Elizabeth!
Элизабет,
I should have insisted that you rest in your room.
Do you want me to call someone?
Let me handle this. I'm used to this kind
я
of
уже
thing.
Thank you, Mr. Deschet.
могу
Miss,
слышать.
can you hear me?
Leave me.
Оставьте меня.
Her breathing is becoming stable and
Она уже не вдыхается.
her heart rate too.
И пульс почти в норме.
Pale complexion, thin,
Бледность.
broken nails,
Вроде
an
снова
enormous scar on her temple, tattoos on her
татуировки
hands.
на руке.
I don't know what happened to you, Missy,
Знаешь, что с вами
but it looks
случилось?
like you've been through hell.
Can you tell me something about her?
Рассказать что-нибудь о ней.
The dizzy spell is harmless, but her general condition is frankly alarming. You seem to know her. What is she suffering from?
I don't know exactly, but her father sent her to us in the hope that she would recover all
Если
her
там
faculties.
что она
It would appear she suffers from
По всей видимости, она
episodes of
страдает от
dementia.
психического расстройства.
Is she aggressive?
Да, может
Sometimes,
быть.
but
Да,
only toward
только
herself. She's never hit out at anyone else, I can
Там
assure you of that.
будьте спокойны.
She wasn't like that this
Утром
morning.
она чувствовала
Something must
себя
have
лучше.
upset her.
Алхамдулилlah.
That's one way to put it.
Может и так.
The poor girl is exhausted, but that's not the
Замученный.
cause of her problem.
Поэтому
Are you all right, Elizabeth? Do you feel any better?
лучше,
When did she arrive?
когда она приехала
4 days ago.
4 дня назад.
Okay. My mother had already
Она,
gone missing.
матушка пропала еще раньше.
She's just regained consciousness and she immediately reaches for her brooch. I don't know exactly what it means to her, but obviously it's got to be something important.
Are you all
Ничего,
right,
да.
Elizabeth?
Ну,
You gave us
да,
quite a fright.
Take it easy, miss.
Let me.
осторожнее.
I
Кстати,
just need to get back to my
Я уже
room.
лучше вернусь.
Of course, my dear. Go
Без
ahead.
строка, пожалуйста.
You saw it, didn't you?
Вы видели?
Pardon me?
Il segni della bestia.
Sorry, Your Eminence.
Видите,
I
ваше
don't
я
speak
не
Italian.
знаю,
Forget it. It
Да, не
doesn't
важно,
matter.
забудьте.
Gentlemen, it's getting
Господа,
late.
уже поздно.
It's time for everyone to
Нам
go to
пора
bed.
отдохнуть. День
It's
виделся.
a long day.
It's all the more delicate.
I'll see what I can do, but the case I'm on at the moment might well leave me with very few opportunities.
Действительно, это
Well, I am impressed with all this
Признаюсь, я
splendor.
поражена.
Don't spend too much time with
Поменьше
Mr. Washington,
беседуйте,
my
мистер
dear,
Вашингтон,
or you'll
потому
lose your
что
pretty
это пройдет
accent.
ваш акцент.
You seem to be intrigued
Вижу,
by
это
that statue.
старая завладела вашим умом.
Absolutely. It is
Вы правы, она
remarkable.
удивительна.
Oh, it's naughty to tell lies.
Да, это нехорошо.
Bet my life that you were
Но
talking about
поклясться,
something
это
totally
обсуждали вы
different from the
одни
decoration of the manor.
особняка.
But to find out
Я
what,
знал, что именно
I
нужно
should have stayed
остаться с
with
ним,
them.
да?
Too bad.
Lord Mortimer is fond of
Вот Мэтт она
ancient
обожает
works of art. I won't disguise the fact that I find it all a little megalomaniacal, but I must say, he does have some outstanding pieces.
So, who was that young lady with
Что
you?
за имя видим?
Elizabeth Adams, Mr. President. She would have liked to have stayed
Что очень
with us, but
хотелось
the poor
остаться.
thing is
Ну,
exhausted.
томился.
Elizabeth Adams?
Адамс?
Just mentioning Elizabeth
Что
totally
вы видели,
changed
не
Washington's
появилась
attitude. Looks like he just saw
А
a
вот
ghost.
Miss Adams is here to
Саранс приехал сюда на
You have
отдых.
perhaps already come
Возможно,
across
вы
her
уже
corridors.
чали ее в
She
Кордис.
arrived a few days ago.
I perceived her, but we weren't introduced.
Rest assured, she is
Знаете,
not here
вас
for the
совет,
same
она
reasons
здесь
as yourselves.
нежливый.
Consequently,
Очень
I'm
не
counting
прошу.
on your indulgence.
Снисхождение.
Washington looks surprised,
Что он удивлен.
but Holmes doesn't seem
Но
to see
Холм,
it.
похоже,
I
не
wonder
замечает.
if he's being
Хочет
polite
его
or
смущать или
if he
действительно не
really
видит
doesn't see
ничего
his
необычного.
discomfort.
On that note, it's very late.
Что ж,
You must
уже
go.
очень поздно, вы наверняка устали.
The servant will accompany you
Вас
to your room.
спали.
Ladies,
Дамы и
gentlemen,
господа,
I bid you
желаю
all good night.
доброй
Mr.
ночи.
President, Your Eminence, Duchess, you have the
Что,
same
ваши
rooms as usual.
герцогини,
You,
ваш
Monsieur de Richet, will find your
ваша
room at the
спальня
end
на
of the
все
corridor.
решения находится справа по коридору.
Well, my friends, I
Ну что, друзья, я
am
изрядно
tired.
выпутался. Пойду
I am
спать.
off to my bed. See you in the morning.
Good night, sir. I shall do likewise.
Louis, I shall see you in the morning.
Вы, до встречи утром.
Well,
Good night. See you
До ночи.
tomorrow.
Завтра.
Oh man, it's been quite a day.
И денек выпутался.
Right. Where is my
Где моя
room?
комната? Еще нам комнату не показали.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Угу. Герцог Эмили.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Герцог Мануэль. Дальше. Бегать мы не можем. Ходить. Показали бы, где наш комната. Для начала.
Huh, that's me.
Моя комната. Ну вот. На месте похоже.
Right.
Ладно.
So what shall I do with this letter? It might be
Ну-ка,
about my
ну
mother's
и
disappearance.
пропажа мать.
But if I open it, I'll be betraying
Открой
Piaggi's
передавал
trust.
доверие. Что же делать?
Damn. Can't wait to open it, but
Я
I
его
gave my word to
передавал.
Piaggi, so
Так что,
too bad. I'll wait until I hand it to mother. Wow. Nice room.
ого, какая красота. Наверное, явно не научиться.
Saint Jerome and the
И
Angel.
то я орх.
Yet again, art with political Saturn devouring his son. Again,
Сатурн.
Saint Francis of Assisi in ecstasy before superior voices. It always amuses me to see how
Нормально
art
можем.
can be used for propaganda purposes. Inferno by Dante. Abandon
Самое
hope,
ближе.
all ye who enter here. Lovely lectures Mortimer is giving to his guests. Very jolly.
Особняк. Что матушка делала? Чай я. Письмо я призвал смешным тоном я. Гостиную я нашел странно. Нет, на причале я наблюдался с сэром Грегорием. Я мог остаться вести. Тоном. Мог. Не знаю, давайте по одному что-нибудь. Все. Угу. Угу. Психология. Понятно.
Your turn?
Приход.
The servants are not very efficient.
Durishay
Строгный.
can't be far
Решением.
away. They'll find her soon.
Скоро они
Their
найдут.
search time is restricted, given that they
Им
must
надо
keep an eye on
приглядываться адрес.
adults.
I can take care of her.
Я могу о ней позаботиться.
Yes. Well, in
Конечно, в
any
любом
case,
случае,
I
спасибо,
do
что
thank
привез.
you for bringing her to the island.
From what I've understood,
Какой
the
я?
search of Durishay's room hasn't turned up any
Не
results.
обнаружился.
Not yet, no. But we put her
Понятно,
son
ну,
in
если
there. Perhaps he'll find something.
что он что-нибудь найдет.
That might come in handy.
Louis
Think
grows
about it.
impatient at not
Really?
yet having met the famous Lord Mortimer.
He will meet him tomorrow.
Кто его встретит?
Oh, what a pity to lose a
Какая
knight
жалость
at the
потерять коня в
start of
самом
the
начале
game.
игры.
Are you waiting for someone?
Ты кого-то
A
ждешь?
young French soldier.
During our
офицера.
game of chess?
Don't
Что наша
worry,
партия?
Gregory. The
Что с
game
Грегори?
is-
Доиграем в другой раз.
I'll have one of my men escort you back.
Я прошу.
Don't trouble yourself. I know my way out.
Джасть тебе.
Ah, good evening, gentlemen. Please forgive me for this late
Простите,
hour.
что при...
It is never too late. And we have much to
Лучше
discuss.
ноги обсудить.
One last move?
Тени ход.
Don't worry. Our games always seem
Наши
to
игры
end.
всегда так
Or
заканчиваются.
always start like this.
Или иначе.
Come,
14.
come, take a seat, my friend.
Просто моя рука. Новый персонаж. Наполеон Бонапарт.
A little nighttime stroll, Mr. President?
There's nothing like it.
После этого они намного быстрее
Do not hesitate to ask a servant to show you back.
слуг проводить вас в комнату.
The corridors seem
Это было
quite
довольно
safe.
безопасно.
Peppermint,
Ну, это липовые
lightflower,
цветы.
and valerian. My miracle remedy will
Чудо лекарство.
get to sleep.
Останется
A very
спокойно.
good night to you,
ничего.
Mr. President.
Thank you. And to you
Спасибо.
too,
И
sir.
вам тоже. Ну, конечно. Условия описаны в задаче.
I'm coming.
Одну минуту. Так.
Dear Monsieur Durishay,
Седаше, к сожалению, я пока не могу встретиться с вами.
join you at present.
Делаем все возможное, чтобы на
Sure that we are
поиски увеличить успех. Мы прилагаем
to resolve the case that concerns us.
личные вещи своей матери с уважением
Enclosed.
мать мир. Ну,
Dear Monsieur Durishay,
понятно. Да погодите, дайте осмотреться. Получили предмет мед. Угу. Банка ягод.
The torture of Ixion, condemned by the
Сутка.
gods to lose his mind because of his arrogance.
Смотрю, что смогу.
The incredulity of St. Thomas.
Картину.
Why is Caravaggio represented St. Thomas putting his finger in the wound? Thomas looks on but doesn't touch.
Так, это пока открыть не можем. Или можем? Не можем. Ладно. Сейчас. Пока открыть не можем молоко.
Inferno by Dante.
Данте, ставь надежду всяко сюда входящий.
Lovely lectures Mortimer is giving to his guests. Very jolly.
Дайте смотреть сначала. Потом все остальное. Склянка воды.
Excuse me. Am I bothering you?
Тревожу.
I was
Я
sleeping.
спал.
I need your help.
Мне нужна ваша помощь.
What's going on?
Что происходит?
Do you remember the young lady we spoke of?
Девушка, которую мы все видели.
No.
Нет, не
What's her name
помню.
again?
Как ее звали?
Elizabeth Adams.
Элизабет
Well,
Адамс.
she is the daughter of my
Так вот,
friend,
это
the
дочь
vice
моего друга,
president John
вице-президента Джона
Adams.
Адамса.
But she is supposed to be dead.
Но я думал, что она
Yeah,
мертва.
that's bizarre.
Правда,
Fair
странно.
Good heavens. I
Даже
was
правда.
present
Я
at
был
her
на
funeral.
похоронах.
It is disturbing indeed.
Жутковато.
Yes. I need
Да,
to
мне
make
должно
sure it's
убедиться,
her.
что это она.
That's where you
Вашей
come
помощи.
in. I want you to distract Elizabeth
Мне
while
надо,
I
чтобы
search her
вы
room. And perhaps get my hands
свою
on
комнату.
some
Может быть,
important
я даже
information.
узнаю что-нибудь важное.
I hope
Очень.
so. Elizabeth is in the small salon. If you hurry, you can still catch her.
Если вы
I just need 10
станете...
minutes.
But if my vision is true, there are two men nearby discussing very important issues, and one of them looks much like Mortimer. Washington is very kind, but I came to this island for my mother, not for his ghost stories. Count on me, sir.
Thank you, my friend.
Читайте. Спасибо, сэр.
Keep Elizabeth downstairs as long as
Иисус.
possible. She must not return to her room.
Trust me.
В комнату. Эти СМИ.
According to Washington, Lady Adams is in the small salon. I better
В
hurry.
гостиной. Напиться. Так, у нас там лестница вроде. Что ли на лестнице? Просто по карте. А можем ехать все-таки. Чуть ускоримся.
My son.
Asma.
Oh, you are a godsend.
What's the
Ну,
matter,
что
Your Eminence?
случилось,
I
ваше?
believe a Miss Adams may be in danger.
Есть опасность.
What do you mean?
Почему?
You hear that? She is being manhandled in the small salon.
Какой стеной?
By whom?
I don't know exactly.
Я точно не знаю.
A thug, a Frenchman, it seems.
Какой-то бандит, вроде француз, судя по
He's a member
самому
of the
одежде.
French Revolutionary Guard.
Что Франции?
Should do something like
Вам
that.
следует вмешаться.
Shit. I'm supposed to
Ну,
make sure Adams wouldn't go back to her room. Don't worry, Your Eminence. I'll
Вот.
take care of it. Probably nothing to worry about.
Do you want me to call for help?
Please don't do anything. I'm sure with a little goodwill, everything will
Разумеется,
work
все
out
будет
fine.
в порядке.
Don't go and wake up the whole
Nic
manor.
nie перед...
Thank you, my son.
Спасибо.
May God watch over you. Who do you think you are?
Все за мной. Воскрешение. Вы можете достичь цели разум смотрителя.
Me, sir.
If we were in France, I'd have sent you to the
О,
guillotine for what
Франция, я бы тебя...
Please, just let me go back to my room.
Я позволить мне вернуться к себе.
Hey, you, stay out of it. This
Ты
is none
куда
of
шел?
your
Это не
business.
твое ума
I'm
дело.
gonna teach this little slut how to behave.
What the hell
Вести
is going
себя.
on?
Huh?
Значит, творится.
I don't think you know who I
Не
am.
знаешь, на кого
I
нравилась.
beg you. I didn't mean to.
Я не хотела.
Don't hit me, please,
Бейте меня,
sir.
пожалуйста.
Shit.
Черт, если я вмешаюсь, Адамс сразу убежит в кусок комнату. Если промолчу, то Вашингтон успеет страдает.
You filthy whore!
I apologize. Have mercy. Please have mercy.
I apologize. Nah, nah, nah. Mercy, have mercy. Nah, nah, nah. Where's that smart mouth now? I'll teach you respect. Huh?
From the looks of her, it wouldn't surprise me if she insulted his mother.
Скрыть.
Well,
По крайней мере, Вашингтон может не
Washington
тратиться.
took his time.
Если вы не дадите никакого ответа, это сделать за вас. Нет.
Given the mess, talking's not going to help anything.
Помогает. Но мне все равно навыка нет.
Well,
Никак
did you
удалось
get
все
time to search your
раскопать.
room?
Yes, I found out many things.
Очень много.
Good.
Did Elizabeth give you any trouble?
Elizabeth? No.
Нет.
Well, you could have mentioned she was with a raving maniac, huh?
What do you mean?
She was
Чем
with
это
a
вы?
Frenchman.
Всем этому француз, я пришел, когда они
What
начались.
the devil are you talking
Что вы
about?
говорите?
I thought he was going to kill the poor
Я
girl.
думал, он убьет
Did
бедняжку.
you intervene?
Вы
I
вмешались.
did what was necessary to give
Я
you
сделал
enough
все
time
то,
to
что вы
search your
успели
room.
обыскать ее комнату.
Good work, my friend.
Отлично, друг мой. Я знал, что я могу на вас рассчитывать.
So tell me, did you find
что
any
вы знали?
information?
Oh,
Я...
yes. What I found is
Что я нашел, наверняка вы
likely
его
to upset
скричите.
you.
What do you mean by that?
Elizabeth is indeed the daughter of
Дочь
John
Джона
Adams.
Адамс.
Why pass her off as
Зачем вы тогда
dead?
ее объявили
I
мертвой?
found her medical file.
Что ее
It
медсестрарка?
appears that for
Похоже,
many
много лет
years
наша мать
your mother was
личным врачом.
her personal doctor. From what I read,
И
she
пока ты
behaved
вела
more
она
like
себя
a butcher than a
Снег.
doctor.
What are you talking about? I'm not a child. What's going on here?
Ой,
John believes that his daughter was possessed. He
одержима.
appealed to your mother to save her, but
Больше вашей матери,
the
но то,
treatment
как
she
она
inflicted
пошлась.
on the poor child.
Боже,
My God.
Look, stop beating around the
хватит,
bush.
когда
What
вокруг, что именно
exactly did she do to her?
сделала?
Do you believe your mother
Кажется, ваша мать
capable
способна
of
пытать
torturing a
детей.
child?
My mother got her hands dirty for the common good, so don't be
Ты
too
раз
quick to judge her.
не
For the
спешите.
common good? We're
Ну,
talking
она
about the
проводила
vivisection of a child, of tattooing her from head to foot with a red hot
Тем, хватит,
iron.
прекратите.
For her 5th birthday, she inflicted the stigma
Рождение она
of Christ on her.
вылезлась.
And for her 10th birthday, a
Он такой
hysterectomy.
подарок.
What kind of gift is that
My
for a
mother's
child?
not a monster.
Чудовище.
I do not doubt that your mother meant
Сомневаюсь.
well, but the techniques described in the file, it is pure torture.
My mother has many faults, but she's not the cruel woman you describe.
Жестоко.
Believe what you will, but now you cannot say you were never told.
Спасти, идемте. О, кстати. Флакон. Ага, посидите. Идем.
Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans by Plutarch, a biography of the great men.
Мужей. Мы получили предмет с описания. Наверх. Идем. Где правильно? отдельную квартиру.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Не мою.
Your Eminence, what are you doing here?
Связите.
I was worried about you, my son.
Вы все
How did
что
it go with
списались?
Miss Adams?
Could have been worse. Let's
Хуже.
say that
В
Miss
любом
Adams
случае,
will
пара дней
remember it
будет.
for a couple of days.
What? Did you not intervene?
Of
Вмешиваться.
course not.
Что
What did you
чего
want
вы
me
от
to
меня
do?
ждали?
That thug could have snapped me in half in 2
Секунду
seconds.
хребет
So,
переломал.
you prefer to let that fragile young lady take a
Страх
beating
получить пару
rather than
синяков?
risk getting slapped around a bit yourself? Mr. Derice, your mother would not have been proud.
Listen, next time it happens, join me instead of hiding behind the
Самой,
door.
вместо того,
You're gonna
чтобы
talk big,
прятаться
back it
дверью.
up.
You should be ashamed. I will pray for your soul, my son. My son, I have another problem. I wanted to speak to you about something important. Do you still have my letter on you? The one I gave you in the hall?
Why do you ask?
I have a name to add to it.
Shh. Shh.
Here it is.
Thank you, my son. Ah, I see that it's still sealed. I was
Лучше
right
всего.
to put my trust in you, Louise. Give me 1 second, please. I can't imagine what would have happened if I hadn't added this name to the list. Please be sure to give this letter to Sarah the moment you see her.
You can count on it.
Have a good night.
Кончи.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. Huh, that's me.
I'm exhausted.
Пойду
Better go
спать.
to bed. I'll search my room tomorrow. Mother stayed here right before me. You never know. And Mortimer had better show up.
Кажется. Кука. Ну ладно. спячка. Так. О. Сломать что-то. Так. Извините.
All right. In my vision yesterday, I saw that Mother had this room before me. I better search the room. Who knows? Maybe she left me something behind.
Stay. Ладно, давайте смотреть.
The torture of Ixion, condemned by the gods to lose his mind because of his arrogance.
Потом, сюда в комнату смотрим. Все-таки. Почему не доступно? Что не то? Мышки.
Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Oh, this bookcase is well stocked. Oh, this book has been put back the wrong way round. A Voyage Around the World, the travelogue of the explorer Louis-Antoine de Bougainville. One of Mother's favorite books. What a coincidence. And I don't believe in coincidences. It's just too much. I don't know what's going on here, but if you felt threatened, I'll bet you'd leave a clue, wouldn't you, Mother? Found it. A faint sign of the order, barely visible. Mother, you undoubtedly must have hidden a clue in this book. Let's see if I can find anything else in this room. The paper's rougher around the writing. The paper's moist here. Very light stain, barely visible. And the smell reminds me of something. The paper's rougher around the writing. The paper's moist here. Very light stain, barely visible. And the smell reminds me of something. I'm not far from solving the puzzle. I must keep searching. Look, markings on the floor. Just a bit worn out. I was hoping to find something leading to a secret passage. There's a circle around the lock here. Must be the trunk Mortimer was talking about. She should open it. There's a note.
Записка, личные вещи Сары Дороша. Я сын.
I should probably take it.
Хватит.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Отлично. ничего. Кровать, ничего.
I haven't even had time to unpack my cases.
Dear Monsieur de Richet,
К сожалению, я пока не могу.
I am unable to join.
Читали. Вообще, что пришли?
Writing material.
Письмо принадлежности.
From what I see, no ink's ever been used on
Уже
this
первый
quill.
никогда не
The
обматывал
smell
член.
reminds me of something.
Знакомый.
It smells like lemon. That's odd. Let's recap. My mother was in this room. I found a rare edition of her favorite book. She must have left something behind. She applied a liquid to the book. She must have used the writing materials. The quill has been used, but not with regular ink. A message using invisible ink. I bet she used a lemon to leave a message. Now, how do I reveal the message? The message is illegible. I have to keep searching.
Дальше. Сок. Потому что
Apart from getting the book dirty, I can't see any use for
можно
it.
испачкать книгу.
Apart from getting the book dirty, I can't see any use for this.
Кстати, лимонный сок, по-моему, был у нас
Nothing here. I wouldn't mind a nice strong coffee though.
в комнате, разве не было? Пока не можем.
Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Lovely lectures Mortimer is giving to his guests. Very jolly. Damn, I'm making a serious mess here. It's no good. Might have worked if the writing had left marks in the paper, but no. There's only traces of lemon. Luckily, I've only put ash on part of the message. Nothing here. I wouldn't mind a nice strong coffee though.
Сделать.
Saint Francis of Assisi in ecstasy, Saturn devouring his son. Again? That's Saint Jerome and the angels.
Все смотрели.
Yet again, art with political undertones with an image of a saint hearing voices. Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Lovely lectures Mortimer is giving to his guests. Very jolly. I don't see how it's technically possible for one type of ink to reveal another. It doesn't make sense.
Что здесь?
Dear Monsieur de Richet,
I haven't even had time. Inspiration of St. Matthew, or Matthew writing his gospel, dictated to him by voices. Nothing. The torture of Ixion, condemned by the gods to lose his mind because of his arrogance. This room looks unoccupied. Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better. When I was a boy, I used to love making secret messages with lemon juice. Handy for writing them, but useless for making them appear.
Не сможет. Медуза.
That wasn't it. Not to mention I covered half the page with lemon juice. Great.
Блеск.
Louis. Lemon's used to write secret messages, not to reveal them. I'll have to try something else.
Как открыть не могу. Все видимости.
Priest robe, crosses. Must be Piaggi's robe.
Мяч. Никуда. Ну чему появится? Слаймаешь. Понятно. Совсем.
This room looks unoccupied. I haven't even had time to unpack my cases.
Вижу. Свечу взять не можно, нет?
Well, I think I've searched everywhere. Maybe I should try it out on the book. Aha! It's working.
Сработал.
The heat reveals the message.
Проявляться.
Let's see what my mother wrote.
Что там солнышко?
Where all eyes size you up, you must pass by the Gorgon. Gorgon was the name of Medusa in Greek mythology.
Медуза.
On the other hand, where all eyes
Все
size you
тебя
up, I don't get it. And judging by the number of paintings in the manor, it could be anywhere. Damn! The message
Так, она еще
thanks
что-то
to me, the
написала.
rest of the text is unreadable. Great.
Чё?
I hope it wasn't a unique edition or mother's gonna kill me. Now I better hurry and find that damn Medusa.
Найти ее.
Sir, dinner
Sir.
is served in the red salon.
Typical.
Гостиной. Не знаю.
I'm not hungry. Please give my
Горгона,
apologies to
предательство.
all the guests.
Sir Holm requests your presence, sir.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to wait before going and looking for my Medusa.
Tell him I'll be there in a minute.
7 минут. Идемте.
If I get a chance, I may have to take a little tour of the rooms of the other guests.
Let no one disturb me. I'm busy.
Too bad. I'll see him later.
Так. Еще не...
President George Washington.
Display.
That's the door to Elizabeth's room.
For God's sakes, what happened in here?
Здесь произошло.
Looks like I found a box containing some kind of white crystals. These are magnesium crystals. A fairly effective remedy for easing anxiety. Well, let's see what it tastes like. Ugh. I really need to stop tasting everything I find now.
Идем. Стол оперся.
A novel of the initiation of a young woman, June 11th, 7, August 24th. My dear Elizabeth, I'm writing to inform you. I found a box containing some kind of white crystals. June 11th, August 24th. My dear Elizabeth.
Что-то есть. Скрыто.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
Скрыто. Комната. Смотрите.
Leaves out of an old encyclopedia.
Соберем. Что нужно?
Sir Jacques Perreux. That must be the door to the room of the soldier I saw. Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Не могу. Ладно, не спускаемся.
Might be better to take a different stairway. Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Duke Manuel Godoy.
Ну, все, я не знаю, что там есть.
Might be better to take a different stairway.
С ним здесь. Шли с другой стороны. Спустимся в таком.
Excuse me, Monsieur de Richet. I really need to talk to you.
Is this about last night?
No, that was just a misunderstanding. I'm sure it was a little bit my fault too.
There's no excuse for that man's horrible behavior. You ought to tell Sir Home.
Look, the only thing that I care about is that I lost something precious. I'm not worried about Jacques Peru.
How's your eye?
I've had worse.
Please accept my apologies. If I'd stepped in sooner, you wouldn't have gotten that.
My eye's nothing. Last night, I found out that your mother was on the island. What are you doing here?
Excuse me, but speaking frankly, why would you care?
I know your mother very well.
Really?
Yes, I have been in your mother's care ever since I was born.
She nursed you?
Oh, I wouldn't say nursed. No, I remember her stare, cold as ice. Her sadistic hands pressing over my mouth to silence me while I screamed in pain. I remember her knees, too. She held me down with them while she cut and burned scars into me.
Hold on a minute. What do you mean?
You can ask her when you see her.
She's getting more and more agitated.
And next you're going to tell me my mother's also responsible for that scar on your head?
My heart stopped twice during the operation. I lost my memory for 6 months. You obviously have no idea of the abuse your mother inflicted on me.
Wait. There must be some kind of mistake.
My only mistake was ever meeting
her.
She's able to describe every detail without hesitation or getting flustered. It's becoming difficult not to believe the poor girl.
Look, I've got to go.
Wait. I need to know more about you and my mother. Why did she put you through all that? There must be some reason for what she did.
What's the point of rubbing salt in the wounds?
You're right. I don't want this conversation to turn into an interrogation. You've suffered enough already. I respect your silence. Please excuse me.
Well, thank you. I know your little game. You're no different from the rest of them. You couldn't give a damn about me. The only thing you're interested in is finding out about your mother.
Don't say that. Not everyone wants to use you. Some people care about you, don't they? Take your father. I'm sure he tried everything to save you.
Sure, he tried everything to keep me from upsetting his political affairs. Once I was declared insane, I was nothing but a burden that got in the way of his career. By leaving me with your mother, he made all the horrors possible.
Haven't you got a sister?
Yes.
I'm sure she loves you with all her heart.
She's the only one who cares about me. I would have put an end to it all by now if it weren't for her. Since you insist, I'll tell you how I met your mother.
Thanks for trusting me.
You see, before I was born, my mother often suffered from hallucinations and fits of anger. Soon people could barely recognize her. She became a completely different person. So my father spent an enormous amount of money paying for the best doctors, but none of them were able to cure her. The last resort was to call a priest.
So, is that what your father did?
No. He went to an expert in the occult.
Ah, my mother.
Her reputation already extended beyond our borders. My mother's fits stopped at my birth, and Sarah de Richet concluded that the evil had passed into me. Not only did it encourage her to stay, but she took the opportunity to advise my father to separate me from the rest of my family. That's how I was declared stillborn. My fate was decided that very day.
It would coincide with my mother's frequent trips to America.
I had my first fit when I was 3. That's when your mother began her experiments to rid me of the evil inside.
I understand how you feel, but I know my mother. I'm sure she had her reasons, even if it seems difficult to believe.
Everything she put me through was all for nothing. My whole life was ruined for nothing.
So what brings you here then?
My father used to know Sir Holm. He offered to introduce me to the world's leading authority in the occult.
Lord Mortimer.
He was my last hope. Until I found out he had also invited your mother.
It's got to be a coincidence. I don't believe for a second she's coming for you.
You can't change my mind about this, Louis. My days are numbered, and I know it.
Так, что у нас тут гостиница? Идемте. Закрыто. Фига не то.
Dear friends, I bid you welcome. I hope the night was not too short. Your Eminence, Duchess, Monsieur de Richet, allow me to introduce our new guests. They arrived during the night. Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religion, close aide of Frederick William II, King of Prussia. Napoleon Bonaparte, Lieutenant of the French Revolutionary Army. And Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. Unfortunately, my friends, Lord Mortimer will not be joining us this morning, but he should be with us later. So, let us begin.
What is Mortimer playing at? He tells me to come urgently, and he sends no one to meet me?
Thank you again for the wine. It is served every day at the king's table. I am delighted to
Volner and Piaggi seem to be getting along well.
My dear Johann, how are you?
Glad to make landfall at last. And yourself?
Very well.
And your husband?
He's poorly. The French Revolution gives him terrible headaches.
Oh, I understand. I shall feel better too as soon as the situation is settled.
If by chance the French crisis is emulated in Berlin, there will always be a refuge for you in London, my dear.
Your offer does you honor, Emily. But London is much closer to Paris than Berlin. Beware. The French are capable of sailing up the Thames straight to the Houses of Parliament.
Oh, my friend, I am shaking in my clogs.
Is the wine to your liking?
Very much so, Sir Gregory. Such complexity, typically French, a Sauterne, isn't it?
Absolutely.
If I'm not mistaken, this is not Lord Mortimer's favourite wine, it is yours.
In his absence, I have taken the liberty of making a slight deviation from the rule, but I count on your discretion.
Don't worry, I appreciate the same great varieties as you. I remember the last time we tasted that nectar here at this table. The finest minds of the century were present.
And the last time we drank it, the orphanage in Bloomsbury was still in ruins.
Would you repeat that?
Oh, well, I put some small effort into the works. The orphanage reopened just before Christmas. The bedrooms, washrooms, and the classrooms had all been rebuilt.
I don't know what to say. You have given the girls a wonderful Christmas gift. Thank you.
I made a promise. Now,
It's the first time I've ever seen her so moved. Just mention that orphanage broke right through Emily's hard shell.
Is everything all right?
Yes, thank you. I had a moment of absence, but here I am again.
My lord, I only know the prestige of your name. Might I have the honor of getting to know you a little better?
You are Monsieur
Louis Moras de Richet.
de Richet. De Richet. A name with a nobiliary particle. Are you descended from a noble line?
that's right. Monsieur can do wonders.
I am just a simple French citizen.
Really? Oh, you seem nothing like a commoner.
Especially compared to that wretch over there sharing our meal.
Don't trouble yourself.
Have you any information on this Napoleon?
Of course.
He's certainly well connected and in high places.
Surprising. No one appears to know him.
No one knows me, and yet here I am.
Quite so.
Monsieur de Richet? It would seem we have common interests. Could we speak in private, please?
Who does not know of her, sir?
Lord Mortimer and the Golden Order, through your mother, have concluded a financial agreement.
Stay composed, Louis. I'm listening.
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother. You must know that I am deeply sorry about their disappearance, but I must validate the deal urgently if I want to be able to organize things properly.
I haven't seen Lord Mortimer yet. I'm afraid I'll be unable to answer your questions.
He assured me that you could replace your mother during her absence.
I appreciate his confidence, but still, this is a bit hasty. But please continue.
Of course, but I need to know if I can count you among my allies.
Well, of course.
And for that, I have a little question for you. The agreement stipulates an aid of 50,000 louis d'or for 200 cannon.
Surely such an amount will buy twice as many cannons. Don't try to pull a fast one on me. We're both young, but we are not naive.
Please don't be offended. I just wanted to make sure you knew what you were talking about. And I am reassured. I have one last question I would like to pose to you. We don't know each other yet, you and I. And I need to make sure that we both share the same vision for the future of France. Given the hard times that have befallen our beautiful country, what do you think it would take to restore its luster?
The revolution was a good thing, but it gave birth to a monster. We must overthrow the new system in place.
Ah, you are right. Monsieur de Richet, I am reassured. I am very happy to have met you. Lord Mortimer was right to put his trust in you. I hope to work with you in the very near future. I would like to thank you for your support by offering you this humble little gift.
Reflections on the Revolution in France. Monsieur Bonaparte, I thank you for this gesture. Please know that I, too, am delighted to have met you.
My friends, I would like to say a few words. I would like to thank Lord Mortimer and you, Sir Holmes, for bringing us all together here. Those of us for whom it is not the first time here, like me, are all trembling in sweet anticipation of the arrival of our host. For the rest, I would like to reassure you that Lord Mortimer always has a few surprising projects to propose. But I can assure you that each and every one of us has always benefited from them. The last time I came to this place, Lord Mortimer offered to help me in my electoral campaign for the presidency of the United States. And it is imminently clear that his support was an invaluable aid to us. We are here among like-minded people. So let us put aside the conflicts in which some of our nations find themselves at present. So I raise my glass in honor of you all, my new and old friends.
I trust you shall not be disappointed, Mr. Washington. Right, we shall meet again tomorrow. All the guests will be present, as well as Lord Mortimer, I hope. Until then, I trust you will find plenty to keep you amused.
Шки свет не я увидел. Я доказал мне, что точку делаю скрипка. Какого-то Наполеона у меня не было взлома. Никак не мог сделать. Этого я сделать никак не мог. Можем взломать. Хорошо.
Alright, let's recap. Before dinner, I was going to investigate my mother's message. I've got to find the place where all eyes size you up.
Дальше. Искать место. Понятно.
Mattress, the Miller Brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it. A few pages out of an old encyclopedia.
Where all eyes size you up. Chances are, that's the one my mother spoke.
And she also spoke of a medusa. Should we go and try to find the creature now?
Мы пока идем, живем здесь. Нам просто.
The Fall of Phaeton, another painting by Rubens. Poor Phaeton, struck by lightning for borrowing his father's chariot and losing control of it. Moral, don't steal Dad's chariot. Devil's Thorn, I'll keep it. I've got to find out what Mother was trying to do with her. The Medusa. A hero armed with a sword? A hero with a lantern. And the last one holding a shield. I'll stake my life on it. All the statues form a single scene together. The poor devils are about to face the beast. Let's give them a helping hand. The Origin of Myths, a reinterpretation of legendary creatures. It's just what I need. The text is in French on the left-hand page and in Latin on the right hand. Let's find the chapter on the Medusa. Hang on. This version is significantly different from the regular one. It recounts how men have always belittled women in society. Harpies, mermaids, the Chimera, the Hydra, the Gorgons. Ah, the section on the Medusa. While some of the heroes divert attention from the Gorgon, the hero with the sword brandishes his weapon, the Medusa. This hero is the only one holding a weapon. It seems obvious that he's the one whose job is to cut off her head. So, sword toward the Medusa.
Что у нас?
The mechanism is worn here. Whenever the shield is not turned toward the sword, the machinery freezes up. The statue must have been in this position most of the time, betrayed by the marks of time. So that makes it easy. The shield must face the sword. Now, Louis, it's time to keep a logical mind, as every good scientist should. The aim is to defeat the Medusa, so what can the lantern be for? To light up the Medusa? Hardly likely. The hero holding the lantern will be easy prey, and the shield will be of no use. To light up the sword? No, that makes no sense. So that leaves the shield. I wonder if the aim is to play with the light. If I turn the shield right, the light would be reflected. The ray of light will perturb the Medusa and focus her attention on the best protected hero.
Крылчик нет.
If I respect the legend, I have to place the hero holding the shield in front of the Medusa. Except for here, it doesn't work. There must be something else. If I respect the legend, I have to place the hero holding the shield in front of the Medusa. Except for here, it doesn't work. There must be something else. Let's think. To vanquish the beast, the statues have to be lined up in a specific order. What can this shield be for? To protect its holder? Why not? But in that case, what's the lantern for? Step back and take a second, Louis. Be logical, but open-minded. Think outside the box. Nobody said a statue has to have only one use. I wonder if the lantern was to distract the Medusa. This shield can both protect the holder and also reflect the light from the lantern to distract the beast. In other words, I'll have to make an angle of 90 degrees between the lantern and the Medusa by turning the shield to face the sword. If Mortimer's the one who thought of all this stuff, then honestly, he must have a screw loose. Crazy idea, but worth a shot.
Ничего. Так.
Whoa.
Rah! For Pete's sake, Emily! You scared the pants off me. Don't ever do that again.
Well, keep your nose out of my business then.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop fooling around and tell me what you're doing here.
Сделайте.
Oh yeah? So tell me what you're doing here.
Yeah, just like me.
Probably, but I asked the question first.
Well then, we'll pretend you haven't asked me yet.
What about a little gallantry, Louis? Come on, I'm listening. What are you doing here?
Сделайте.
I admit everything, madam. You win. I've been bitten by the same bug as you.
I beg your pardon?
We can't resist being where we shouldn't, seeking out our host's little secrets. So, we have that in common, right?
I really thought you were going to answer me this time. Well, no matter. I'll tolerate your presence this one time. Now, since you're here, make yourself useful. Look around on your side. I'll do the same on mine. And if you find anything of interest, let me know.
Oh yeah, your dreams. At your service, madam.
A golden fleece.
It's freezing. Hurry up.
Do you think that can really be Jason's golden fleece?
No, you are aware that Jason and the Argonauts is a myth, aren't you?
But Mortimer's been protecting this hide. It must be of great value, don't you think?
Certainly of historical value. This kind of hide is still used by gold diggers in Eastern Europe. Now you see how easy it is to obtain a legend.
Why do you have to act so nonchalant every time I show you something?
Louis, anyone can kill a sheep, rip off its hide, and say it's the Golden Fleece.
We're at Lord Mortimer's, not at some farmyard fair. You're just too skeptical.
And you have a tendency to believe anything. Talk about an unlikely pair.
Yet, you know opposites attract, don't you? An unofficial gospel?
You'd be more likely to find this kind of book at the Vatican.
Nothing special. The library at Buckingham has 3.
Gee, is there anything England doesn't have yet? Wait, yes, there is. The United States.
Well, not yet. Besides, as far as I know, they don't speak French in the United States.
Hey, Mortimer is the author of this work. It talks about his passion for art. A Greek drachma, one of the rare ancient coins to be mentioned both in the Bible and in the Quran. Guess what I found?
The Holy Grail.
Older than that.
A piece of Noah's Ark.
Not that old.
This could go on for hours. Just tell me.
Caesar's laurel wreath. The workmanship on this crown is amazing. The finesse of the gold laurel leaves is beautiful. A crown worthy of an emperor. I'd stake my life that it's the genuine article. I can just see Mortimer dressed in a toga, wearing a laurel wreath, strutting around his manor all day long.
You have a curious idea of Mortimer.
Why? He's eccentric, like all the English are, isn't he?
Well, if Peru stands for French grace, then if I were you, I wouldn't be making that sort of remark.
Well, looks like a pamphlet on different political regimes, written by Mortimer himself. You should see this sword, Emily. It's magnificent.
I'm busy. Describe it to me.
This weapon is typically French, quite old, undoubtedly goes back to the Crusades. If it is a true Damask sword, it's worth more than a kingdom. I think it's the sword of Genghis Khan.
Brush up on your classics. Asian weapons are definitely not this shape.
All the swords forged in Asia don't necessarily have a curved blade.
Are you blind? It's a thrusting saber, a pure product of the West.
When you don't get the last word, your repartee goes all aggressive.
When you finished playing, maybe you can help me search the place?
A fragment of amber.
Here's something interesting. A manor in Maine, hundreds of acres of land in Catalonia, properties in Shanghai. Incredible. Some of these deeds are over 600 years old, and all signed by the hand of Mortimer.
I wonder if that's what inspired my mother's attention. How come all these documents have Mortimer's signature on them?
Do you think all these properties really belong to him?
Maybe Mortimer is immortal or capable of living for a very long time, like Methuselah.
A first smile. Careful. Keep that up and soon you'll end up laughing.
Carry on sprouting inanities like that, and indeed I might. These documents are intriguing, but do you really think that's what attracted your mother's attention here?
And how do you know my mother was interested in this room?
I didn't know, I just supposed she was. And you just confirmed it. So, do you think she found what she came for?
I don't know. She was obsessed with Mortimer, and I must confess these property deeds are troubling.
If that's the case, why would she have left them?
Once again, I don't know. We'll have to ask her when we find her. And what's your take? Mortimer's collection is unique, isn't it?
That's an understatement. No doubt he has a major passion for history and fine art, or getting gifts.
If each time Mortimer does someone a favor, they reward him with a priceless gift, that means he must have helped nearly everybody in the world. I wonder why my mother didn't make it clear what she was interested in here.
She didn't have time to write it down, or maybe she wasn't sure of what she was looking for.
Or she wanted to protect her discoveries. It's disturbing.
You'll just have to search the rest of the room. Maybe you'll find something. What is that you found?
A cameo pendant. What's going on?
Nothing.
For crying out loud, Emily, you lunged for that jewel like your life depended on it. Tell me what this is about.
No. We just met, Louis. I like you, but I can't just suddenly open myself up like a book to you.
Listen, Emily. It seems pretty obvious to me that you haven't come here for the sole purpose of sampling Mortimer's cellar. Stop all the clever evasions and just trust me.
And why the hell should I place my trust in you, Louis? At least this way things are clear. How do you expect me to open up to you at all if you can't even reassure me? Well, I'm prepared to trust you when it comes to choosing a French cheese, but I've nothing to gain by confiding in you any further than that.
Nothing to gain? Damn it, Emily! I'm only trying to help you. Stop needing to gain something all the time.
Because you think I need help?
Just like everyone. You have your strengths and your weaknesses, and there's no use pretending otherwise.
Ha! And I bet you found out where I'm weak, haven't you?
You think your scathing wit protects you, but in fact, it makes you blind. No sooner have people introduced themselves than you already see them in a bad light. You play the part of a strong woman, and yes, you are a strong woman, of course. But what I see is a sensitive young lady who lacks self-confidence. Stop adopting a defensive posture, and you'll see just how quickly new doors will open.
There is some truth to what you say. I might have some weaknesses, but I don't need your help to overcome them. And I'm simply not contemplating collaborating with anyone at this time. Do you understand?
Yes, it's perfectly clear. You're already working with someone.
Ah, well spotted, Louis. I already have a work partner. I know my weaknesses. I don't doubt that your abilities will be of use to me. But I already have all that, thanks to my teammate.
Is there any chance you might tell me who he is?
No, I've already said too much. Consider yourself lucky I've even given you this much. It's extremely rare, believe me.
Come on, don't stop now that you've come this far. You know that eventually I'll end up making you talk.
Well, since no one can resist you, let's see if you can guess who my partner is.
You're a gambler. So, your partner is... your sister. She's your partner. She's the one you're looking for.
Well, I am impressed. How the devil did you guess I had a sister? Virtually no one even knows. When it comes to getting results, you're very good, I grant you that. You deserve to know why the sight of the cameo pendant affected me so strongly. I thought it belonged to Emma, my twin sister.
Oh, now I get why you said you had a memory for two.
Yes, you can't imagine to what extent though. As children, everyone got us mixed up, so one day we decided to play along. Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough, the woman with two faces.
Clever. But isn't it complicated? How do you make it work?
One of us has no existence in the outside world. We share everything. First for one, then for the other. We dress the same, wear the same makeup, we speak the same. We've learned to act as one. When we accept a mission, we both turn up. This time, though, she went ahead, and I was meant to wait for her on the mainland. She was meant to meet Sir Home and bring us the details, so we could work out who would follow up.
And there was a problem?
She was supposed to return from Mortimer's 1 week ago. The boat turned up at Plymouth, but alas, no trace of my sister. Instead, a sailor passed me a
Матрос
message
передал
from
мне
home,
послание
notifying me of
Там
her
говорил,
sudden
что она
disappearance.
внезапно пропала.
So, my mother and your sister go missing just a few days apart. That's strange. Maybe their disappearances are linked.
It's clearly a possibility, but up to now I haven't found a trace of either of them.
None of this is very reassuring.
By the way, Louis, now that you are in on the secret, you're obliged to keep it to yourself, or you will pay very dearly.
Don't worry. Your secret is safe with me.
It's time to leave.
Пора уходить.
So, what do you think of our first adventure?
I must admit, it has been fun by your side.
Same here.
Oh, she's been drinking too much again.
Louis, I need to talk to you right now.
Good evening, Elizabeth. Actually, this is not a good time.
I'm begging you, please don't leave me alone.
I'll be waiting for you in your room, but don't be late.
I was sure there was a certain je ne sais quoi between us.
Louis, we need to talk now. Otherwise it'll be too late.
Looks like Elizabeth really needs me, but if I start talking to her, for sure Emily won't wait for me. What should I do?
Excuse me, Elizabeth, but some very urgent business has cropped up. We can speak tomorrow.
No, Louis, don't leave me alone. They've come back.
Good night, madam.
Well, well, Louis, you took your sweet time. What did our poor Elizabeth want?
She probably wanted to chat more about my mother.
Really? So Miss Adams is somehow linked to your mother?
In a way, I guess she is. But I thought all of that could wait until tomorrow.
That young girl seems very...
Emily? Have I misunderstood something here? What are you doing in my room?
And for a while now, the question has been nagging at me.
And that explains why I now find you here, in my bed. Go ahead. Ask me the question that's been burning at your lips.
I know your mother was here to meet someone, but I can't figure out who.
Oh, so that's what's been hiding behind all this.
We are both members of the Order, Louis. Let's try to be honest with each other. I have followed with great interest your affair in Paris, in connection with Mr. von Borchert. You managed to steal something from him, if I'm not mistaken.
Are you talking about the Book of All Mysteries? Al-Azif?
That's right, Louis. A valuable bit of plunder, isn't it?
Yeah. When we finally found it, we took it.
And where is the book right now?
Amazingly, it's right here. Mother took it with when she came.
This is quite fascinating. But just what did Sarah expect to accomplish here?
If only I knew myself. My mother always takes a sly pleasure in telling me as little as possible.
Oh, poor little Louis. Your mother hides things from you. That's not very nice.
No, it's not nice at all. And you, what were you supposed to do once the book was found?
Give it to our sponsor, of course. Sir Gregory has more than one card up his sleeve.
So you mean Home is playing both sides?
Right. Enough chatting. Come and join me instead. I have to go, Louis. I don't want anyone finding me here in the morning.
You're right. Well, have a good night.
Good night. See you tomorrow, rested and ready.
Sure thing.
Lord Mortimer? Monsieur de Richet, at last we meet.
Что мы встретились? Медуза, я нашел комнату. Хочешь, я узнал, что мне легче сказать, я уделяю несколько секрет, я подключу. Мог узнать больше о прошлом матери. Мог решение. Ну ладно. Так. Хочет немножко. Слушайте, первый эпизод закончен. Спасибо всем просмотр. Ставьте лайки на второй эпизод. Говорится. Всем. Спасибо за просмотр, ставьте лайки.